begin with the urgent warning to civilians overseas as fears grow in the Middle East that the region is on the brink of a wider war, with cross-border attacks escalating.
FYI, this IDF here, by the way, Shalom. This thing here that says IDF, that's Israeli Defense Forces, targets Hezbollah strongholds after weekend rocket attacks. So basically what it is the 48ers are doing what they always do, gaslighting, making the world think that, we were victims of rocket attacks by Hezbollah, so now we're attacking Lebanon as a retaliation, when it's really a retaliation, because the 48ers have been picking on other Middle Eastern countries for 75 years, almost 75 years. But anyway, without further ado.
Overnight, Israeli forces say they conducted extensive strikes on Hezbollah targets in Lebanon. Marcus Moore is live on the ground in Lebanon's capital. But first, Chief Global Affairs anchor Martha Raddatz is in Tel Aviv for us. Good morning, Martha.
Mind you, scriptures say a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod. Ashdod is modern-day Tel Aviv.
Good morning, Robin. This morning, as you said, urgent warnings from the Israelis to Lebanese civilians to get out of harm's way as these extensive strikes are launched.
How the fuck are they telling the civilians to get the fuck out the way when they're blowing everything up? How are they gonna, like, pay attention to the news and use common sense? You're gonna tell people to get out the way. How are they gonna get out of the way? You think that they're just gonna be able to walk, run, drive out of the way? When they strike and destroy everything. But anyway, moving on.
Into Hezbollah stronghold, with a U.S. official telling me a wider conflict now really looks to be inevitable.
Now it says a wider conflict now looks to be inevitable. You know what that means? That means more countries are going to become involved. That means it's going to be, it's the beginning stages. I would say we've been in the beginning stages of World War III, but it's escalating.
Overnight, dramatic new strikes on Lebanon. For the first time since the October 7th massacre, Israel showing warplanes making a direct hit on a residence where they say Hezbollah was hiding a cruise missile capable of traveling deep into Israel. The IDF saying you could see Hezbollah operatives breaking down a wall in the home and readying the missile for launch. The IDF now warning that extensive, precise strikes aimed at targets across Lebanon.
You don't think there's other houses and other places that may, if that's the case, it would make me very afraid to know that that's just the one you caught. What about the ones that you ain't catch?
Are far from over, and that civilians around them should flee.
We advise civilians from Lebanese villages located in and next to buildings and areas used by Hezbollah for military purpose, such as those used to store weapons, to immediately move out of harm's way for their own.
Okay, does anybody else besides me have a common sense question? Why the fuck is this Israeli man recording this video in English when he's speaking to people that speak Arabic? That's a common sense question.
Safety.
This comes after a weekend of Hezbollah firing more than 150 rockets into northern Israel, many of them intercepted before they hit their mark. Israel, too, launching hundreds of strikes into Lebanon. The airstrikes intensified after last week's unprecedented attacks on Hezbollah personal communications devices, including pagers.
Look at that shit. That's how people live.
And injuring nearly 3,500. But Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu making clear Israel will do whatever is necessary to restore security to its borders.
No country can accept the wanton rocketing of its cities. We can't accept it either.
So you notice he once again spoke in English. So you gotta understand who's the audience, who's the intended audience. The intended audience is the English speaking world. So it could be people in England, people in the United States. But the people that they're trying to speak to is to English speakers.
And a U.S. official telling me just moments ago that in the coming hours, Israeli airstrikes will be ratcheting up substantially and imminently.
Oops, Salak. But basically what that's saying is that there is going to get worse.
Are you ready to rule the realm?
Salak. That's saying this is going to get way worse. It's going to escalate. And there's going to be more countries that are going to be affected and involved. Right? So what should we be doing in the midst of all that? Right? I'm going to read a scripture real quick. It says, Joel 3:9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Now, what happens when you are preparing for war? In pretty practical sense, you're not looking for tomorrow now. When you're preparing for war, you're looking for shit. We got to survive this war so our nation can survive. Right? When you're preparing for war, you're like, man, fuck all the farming and stock tips. America generally has had a way of carrying on business, and this is why this scripture is so potent and so meaningful, because most nations throughout the history of the world have had to stop operations. Fuck stock tips, fuck stockbrokers. We need soldiers. Fuck all that other shit. We need people to go out there and fight. Right? It says, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Wake up your soldiers. Like, yo, is ready. Get ready. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. All your men of war. This third world war is going to be insane. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. What is a plowshare in comparison to a sword? A plowshare is a farming instrument. A sword is a killing instrument, a fighting instrument. You're pruning hooks into spears. So we don't need pruning hooks because we're not going to be fishing and farming. We're going to be fighting. It says, let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen. All the other nations. Because what did she say in the video? A wider conflict. It says, and gather yourselves round about thither, meaning there, cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, the Lord's judgment. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Right? So that's it. That's it. The end is near. The end is near. Shalom.